Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to our explainer on AWS versus Azure costs for startups in 2026. Now look, if you're building a company right now, you already know that choosing your cloud infrastructure is, without a doubt, one of the most absolutely crucial early choices you're going to make. But here's the secret we're going to unpack today. Choosing a cloud isn't actually about finding the cheapest option. It is fundamentally about survival. It's about preserving your runway.
I mean, think about it. What if you get a massive cloud bill before your very first client even pays you? It's literally the ultimate startup nightmare, isn't it? In those earliest days, every single dollar you have feels like oxygen. You aren't really building a company just yet. You are buying time. Time to test an idea, time to land that first client, time to survive just long enough for your work to actually matter. If you're terrified of a sudden, completely unexpected cloud bill draining your bank account before you've even properly launched, well, you're in exactly the right place.
To really wrap our heads around how cloud costs behave, we kind of need to map out the chronological journey of a startup. Because your startup's life essentially breaks down into three distinct eras. Stage 1 is the MVP, getting from zero to those precious first clients. Stage 2 is internal tools, which is where you start actually setting up your daily business operations. And then Stage 3 is SaaS scale, where you turn those tools into a massive public-facing product. Your cloud strategy has to evolve at every single one of these stages.
So, let's start at the beginning. Stage 1, the MVP, zero to first clients.
At this point, your traffic is totally unpredictable and your revenue is, well, completely uncertain. At the MVP stage, the battleground for day zero startups isn't about tweaking pennies. It's about demanding zero financial commitment if nobody actually visits your site. And honestly, AWS quietly dominates here. Why? Because it's incredibly forgiving when you're super small. You've got an ultra-low entry cost, we're talking sometimes as low as $3.50 a month for simple hosting, and a massive serverless advantage. Now, Azure is incredibly powerful, no doubt about it, but at this specific stage, it can feel a bit complex and heavy. When you need to launch, fail, rebuild, and relaunch at lightning speed, AWS gives you the breathing room to do that without your bank account punishing you.
Your mindset right now must be exactly this. Only pay when something actually happens. For MVP stage startups, this MicroStrategy is crucial. You want to use serverless wherever possible. Avoid always-on infrastructure like the plague. Keep everything event-driven. Your goal right now is not to have the highest-performing enterprise system on the planet. The goal is to survive long enough to actually need performance later.
All right, moving on to Stage 2, internal tools. It's time to start operating.
So you're now building the internal nervous system of your company, right? Petty cash tracking, billing dashboards, queue management. These tools don't need viral traffic. They need reliability, structure, and control. And this is exactly where Azure stops being complicated and starts being dangerously efficient. Take Azure Entra ID, for example. If your team is already using Outlook, Teams, or Office, Azure seamlessly integrates your identity and access control. It essentially turns your cloud from just a basic hosting space into a native, fully integrated business environment. The really crucial point here is how these platforms handle your daily business operations. For internal tools that are used mostly during normal business hours, Azure offers SQL serverless databases that actually auto-pause when they aren't being used. So nights and weekends, boom, your database costs are almost zero. Now, AWS is still super strong here, of course, but it generally requires a lot more manual assembly. An AWS RDS database is typically always on unless you very carefully tune it, and identity management requires way more custom configuration. At Stage 2, structure starts winning, and Azure is just closer to how real businesses actually operate.
Which brings us to Stage 3, SaaS scale, true productization.
Eventually, you hit this dramatic turning point where your internal tool becomes someone else's product. You are no longer dealing with predictable usage or just a handful of internal users. You've got multiple clients, completely unpredictable traffic spikes, and a desperate need for 24/7 availability. You aren't just paying for basic usage anymore. You are paying for serious scale and reliability. And AWS makes a massive comeback here as the undisputed king of internet-scale systems. It offers a deeply mature global infrastructure network. It has an absolutely unmatched ecosystem for cloud-native microservices, allowing you to break your product into highly scalable pieces. Plus, it offers heavy cost efficiency at scale through tech like ARM-based Graviton instances and really robust auto-scaling. When pure, unbridled scale is your goal, AWS's flexibility is totally paramount.
Okay, let's pivot to the real cost game. Credits and free money.
See, most founders sit around comparing $5 servers to $10 servers. But early-stage cloud cost is really about how long you can delay paying anything at all. AWS Activate is fantastic for quick, accessible fuel. They'll give you $1,000 to $5,000 just to get started fast. But Microsoft for startups? They play a massive long-term power play here, up to $150,000 in credits. And it's not just for servers. It's GitHub, Microsoft 365, and OpenAI services. It's essentially cost elimination across your entire business stack.
But here is the dangerous truth that every single founder needs to hear. Credits decide survival, yes, but they are also a huge trap. Credits do not actually reduce your costs. They merely delay your understanding of them. If you build freely on credits, completely ignore real pricing, and build lazy architecture, you are going to panic the exact second those credits expire.
Let's talk about surviving the cost traps, the hidden dangers.
Because startups don't lose money because of AWS or Azure pricing pages, they lose money because of the mistakes they completely fail to see. The very first silent killer is idle time. You launch a small app, you're super happy, but behind the scenes, your server and your database are running 24/7. Even when absolutely zero users are online, you are paying for time, not usage. For an early-stage startup, most of your time is idle time, and idle time should cost close to zero. Relying on always-on virtual machines is a deadly trap for a tight budget.
Let's rapidly run through these startup-ending traps so you can avoid them. Always-on servers, like we just discussed. Ignoring serverless options just because a VM seems quote-unquote simpler. Having absolutely no billing alerts set up from day one. Listen, if you don't track your costs daily, your provider will happily track them for you monthly. Over-engineering way too early, building complex microservices for 5 users just means you're paying enterprise costs without enterprise revenue. Hidden data egress costs. Moving data out of the cloud will quietly bleed you completely dry. And finally, the ultimate illusion. Credits will save me. A system that only works on free money is not a sustainable business.
So let's look at the final decision framework, choosing based on your stage.
How do we actually cut through all this noise? Simple. Don't choose a cloud, choose your stage. Here is a highly practical, stage-based guide based on everything we've just covered. Step 1. Start on AWS for your MVP. It offers the absolute lowest friction, near zero costs with serverless, and gets you validating your ideas fast. Step 2. Move to Azure for your internal operations. As your team grows, Azure's identity integration and those auto-pausing databases are going to run a business much more efficiently. Step 3. Return to AWS for pure SaaS scale. When your product needs to handle massive, completely unpredictable global internet traffic, AWS's cloud-native ecosystem takes over.
The golden rule across all of this is straightforward. Start simple, stay flexible. Don't lock yourself in too early. Remember, picking the quote-unquote wrong cloud won't kill your startup, but the wrong timing and overcommitting your architecture way too early absolutely will. As we wrap up today, I really want you to remember this quote. Tools don't build businesses. Decisions do. Whether it's AWS or Azure, at the end of the day, they are just platforms. A simple system built with clarity scales beautifully. A complex system built in total confusion will struggle, regardless of the logo at the top of your monthly invoice. Clarity is absolutely your best cost optimization strategy. So I'll leave you with this provocative final thought to mull over today. Take a hard look at your current setup. Are you building with clarity, or are you over-engineering your cloud costs right now? Think about your stage, think about your idle time, and make sure your infrastructure is serving your survival, not threatening it. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll get you on the next one.